All right. Woo, jeez. I always do what my mug says. Drink coffee, hell Satan. This is COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the amazing Polka Dottie and Andrew Novick. Oh!
Something on my face.
Andrew, Polka Dottie, how are you?
Hey, what's up?
Not too much. Just hanging out here in my layer of a little fleshy latex skin.
I was gonna say it looks like creepy skin.
It's a layer of layers.
The layers of layers. It's light before the foreskins. Oh, dang. How are you guys? It's great to see you.
Great.
Doing awesome.
Yeah, we're good. We're busy.
Excellent. Yeah. You guys are always doing stuff. Dottie, you're always doing producing different burlesque shows. And Andrew, you're kind of a key person of the Denver art scene. Warlock Pinchers I love you for, but you're always doing different events and the two of you have collaborated on the new event. Can you tell us a little bit about how you guys got together and collaborated on this thing called Delirium?
Yeah. So we're 2 of 5 members of Delirium. It is kind of a, I don't know, how do you describe it, collective?
Yeah, collective or a collaboration.
Yeah.
Everyone's got different skills and abilities, so we're covering all the bases.
Nice.
Yeah, so we have people from burlesque background, magic, art, music, and we've all just teamed up to produce what we hope will be very fun artistic events.
Yeah, an experience. We really want to make it an experience, just because, time is precious right now. Where it's if you're going to go out and brave the world, it should be worth it. Yeah. So we want to have something that's beyond the ordinary.
That's right. And Delirium's kind of a correct me if I'm wrong, a pop-up bar inside of a bar, type of event. Very Victorian horror, so to speak.
Yeah, our first show that we're doing is called The Devil's Instrument. It is a Victorian horror theme, and we hope to have some more fun themes in the future.
Yeah, it's in the basement of HQ, which is a lot of people know that as Three Kings or 60 South or the Cherry Pit, if you go back that far.
I remember the Cherry Pit.
Yeah.
God, how old are we?
Yeah, how old are we? The basement's never really been utilized, I don't think. There's been some art shows down there, and I remember working maybe even with you, but with Ryan Poliski, we were going to do a horror dinner down there.
Yeah.
We just never were able to do it. But we've totally transformed the space.
Yeah.
It's looking really cool. It'll just surround people with very rich textures and art installations and themes.
Yeah, it's basically to kind of try to neatly sum it up. It is part bar, part art experience, and part theater.
Okay.
And we have tried to set it up in a way where no matter what part of that experience you want to get out of it, you will be happy. So if you just want to sit and have a drink, you'll still enjoy it. If you want to look around the room and take in every single detail and try to uncover like the mysteries that we've put together, then we'll have that for you as well.
So it sounds like there's like a mystery dinner type component.
Kind of. I mean, it's not quite the same, but you know, I feel like it's kind of similar.
Yeah, not so much something to be solved, but something to observe and get wrapped up in.
Yeah, the story will unfold as the evening goes on. So if you kind of look around the room in the beginning and take in all the details and then watch the first part, and then maybe you can go around the room again and try to find more details, and slowly you're going to kind of piece together what's going on.
Like when you say you're bringing in artists and stuff, is it anybody that we know, or is it a number of like little installations or paintings or sculptures? What do you got going on?
Everything's created by Delirium, so everything has been created by either me or Andrew, Dirty Duval, Clairvoyant, and then our kind of, how would you describe Scott?
He's our ringleader, yeah. I guess.
Our ringleader, I guess, is Scott Happel.
Okay, cool. Nice. That's cool.
And we have had some other people too that are helping with some of the props. Mariah Weiss, who you know. And Jessica. I don't know if you know Jessica from. She worked or works at Mutiny.
Okay. Oh yeah. I know Jessica.
She's helping us too. So we are bringing in a little bit of outside talent, but it's mostly all of us. Wait, did you mention Clairvoyant?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Did. That's cool. So, what are the dates? When can people? Are tickets available now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tickets are available now, and we are most Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays between September 19th and Halloween.
Okay.
There's a couple off dates. We have like one Sunday in there, and then like one Friday that we aren't there, but. For the most part, those are the dates. So
it's a reservation only, so you can't just wander through because it is really specifically laid out with the seating. You pay per couple or per two people, and it's kind of worked around the schedule of HQ because if there's something going on upstairs, it's going to be too loud down there. We're really creating an environment. Yeah. So. That's why the dates are kind of random. It's a pop-up bar, so we're using the space when we can. Yeah,
that was like the whole point of the creative venture was to create something when there was nothing.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, September 19th. That's my birthday.
Whoa!
Oh man.
I guess I know where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Elise is watching, hun, guess where we're going to be. That's pretty awesome. So you're creating this, this event, it's very immersive, type thing. Andrew, I've known you from, creating a number of other events too. Was this something that was just always kind of leading up to this, or, how did this really manifest?
I mean, for me, I feel like everything I do kind of leads up to whatever I do next, right. But not like more like referentially, because I am always trying to do something different. So, I've done themed dinners or themed brunches, different kinds of music experiences or performances and stuff. So it's kind of is a culmination of a lot of those things between decor and performance and environment.
Yeah, I feel like everyone on the team has this like very strange history where we all are like a jack of all trades, where it's like, right. I've done this, but then I've also done this.
Yeah.
And then, we all kind of came together, and I don't know, I feel like it made sense, like us being put together.
Scott Happel kind of got us all together as like, you can picture like Mission Impossible at the beginning of each episode, where like Mr. Phelps is going through his like experts in different fields, and he picks up like, oh, clairvoyant, yeah, I'm going to use her for this, and then like Dirty Duval, yeah, oh, Polka Dottie. So he got us all together, and we just started meeting and like came up with this idea. So it was really a collaboration.
And it was just as mysterious because it was just like, meet with me about something, and you're just like, okay, about what?
And well, that also goes to show what kind of people we are. Like, we'll go to any meeting about something we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, right.
That's more exciting than knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. Did did that message self-destruct?
I think I ate it.
Jeez, dude, that's explosive, buddy.
I swallowed it.
Oh well, so that's pretty cool. You guys kind of came together, Mission Impossible style, and to see some mysterious project through. That's going to be exciting. How it came to be. Seems pretty exciting. I usually don't get out of bed unless there's a very clear plan. And Dottie, you come from a burlesque background where I've interviewed you about putting together Victorian horror burlesque shows, right?
Yeah. It was the last weekend before everything shut down. So if I had done one weekend later, it would have never happened.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that experience was like?
Well, so on the day, everything was fine. Like, it was still kind of this thing that was like, oh yeah, other countries and whatever. Right. And of course, looking back, I was just like, oh my gosh, like not only did I get super lucky with the date I picked, but also like we opened the show with the Mask of the Red Death, and it seemed really horrible looking back.
Whoa.
I was like, oh no, I did this. It was my fault.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Producing that show just prior to going into the shutdown and everything, did you take any lessons from that and apply it to this event?
Yeah, I think so. So I have my background before I started doing burlesque was I was in the local fashion scene, and I would produce my own fashion shows as well. So like I have this very strange background with just like putting on small budget events, and so there was a lot that I was able to apply to this. Like, oh, we needed this thing real cheap. Like, all right, I'll go to the thrift store. Like, I'm used to that. So there were certain things I'm able to kind of take from my skills of like putting together events into this. But yeah, I mean, I do very theatrical themed burlesque shows, so I didn't seem that crazy of a leap to go from like theatrical burlesque to just plain like kind of theater in a way.
What's your interest in Victorian era specifically?
I don't know.
Like
I think that
fashion or just the lifestyle, or
I mean, I think it looked really good, but I think part of the reason I keep going to Victorian horror is because they just did it really well. And part of it too, I can't watch blood and gore. Like I have bad reaction to it. So Victorian horrors are also great because they leave a lot to the imagination and you don't actually see it. So I'm actually able to consume it. So that probably as well.
Right. That, that's a good thing too that Andrew brought up. Was it your influence that kind of guided the theme for this first show?
Not really. Like we all kind of independently. So when Scott brought us into like the little pitch meeting, we all almost independently were like, oh, you want Halloween? How about Victorian horror?
Yeah.
And then of course, like when we met, we fleshed it out and kind of started over here and kind of slowly ended up where we are. But no, I just think we all happen to be into that type of thing.
Yeah, and I think too, like, because Halloween, I mean, there's very specific things that happen on Halloween, like haunted houses and those kinds of things. And we wanted to do something different because we're really trying to break different ground here. So we kind of went back to a different era, to choose from.
Our goal is definitely to create an event that will appeal to people with different interests, and kind of, I mean, I don't want to say give something for everyone, because of course that's impossible, but make something that people will enjoy, even if they're not necessarily into Victorian stuff or horror stuff specifically. Kind of, different interests.
Nice. Well, yeah, you're kind of kind of skating the line of horror, Victorian, something a little bit more elegant, I suppose. A little bit more sophistication. So I think of some of the, like, when you go to like the Clock Tower Cabaret, you get kind of the meal and the show and the whole, but it's got that ambiance too.
Yeah.
With it. And
yeah.
That's kind of what I think of too. When I'm reading the description, it's like, a little bit more of that Victorian horror, stuff that, like early Vincent Price films. There's.
And ours kind of has more moments of just letting you be, like we have some small theatrical moments, but the entire thing is not a play. We wanted to make sure that people could sit and enjoy and, have drink, maybe have a little bit of food, and just kind of take in the ambiance and, then have little bits of theater, not like you don't have to sit passively the entire time. And we'll even have moments where if you feel like participating in like Victorian parlor games, we can do that with you. It's very like at your own comfort level, like what experience you want to gain from it.
Nice. And talking about it's a pop-up bar of sorts. Yeah. So custom cocktails. What's the menu look like?
We're still working on the menu, but like specifics. But we are aiming to have things that appeal to a modern day palate, of course, but have little touches of Victorian theme in there. Sometimes it'll just be with like the name, or sometimes it's kind of a little nod to something in the show.
Okay.
But in terms of like specific drinks, we're still working with the bartender on that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and people also can order from like
it's a full bar.
It'll be a full bar from upstairs at HQ.
Yeah.
So it's not limited to like, because sometimes if you go to something, there's like the drink and here's the one drink.
Yeah.
But so it'll have a full bar too if you want.
Oh man, well that sounds pretty cool. The going forward, what kind of shows, or have you talked about future themes or anything like that, or laid the groundwork for some of that?
Well, we're called Delirium for a reason, because we want to kind of bring you on like a journey to this other set or mindset almost.
Yeah, everything should be kind of otherworldly in the sense of transforming the space so you really don't feel like you're anywhere specific, putting people in somewhere that's its own environment. So we don't want to talk too much about future themes, except for that we have lots of ideas. So.
Yeah.
Give them a surprise.
I have a spring one that I'm happy to fight to the death over, because I'm like, no, this is our spring theme. I want it.
Nice. Yeah. To me, it sounds like you almost have the theme of sacrifice if you're going to fight to the death, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not going to get in that ring.
No.
I've seen Midsommar. No, thank you. So this sounds pretty exciting. These days you see like these event spaces, like something like Meow Wolf doing, becoming this very immersive space. You've got I'm thinking of the outdoor sculpture museum, and there's a few other events too that I've participated in, where it's just these immersive environments.
Yeah,
you get the whole 9 yards. The sounds, the smells. Sometimes you're invited to participate in the sculptures and in the stuff like that. So adding like direct performances and food and drink. It sounds like you're trying to enhance something like that. Does some of your influence come from these type of things?
I mean, I know I'm like a big consumer of that type of thing.
Yeah.
I know that I read something once saying that like right now people are spending money on experiences rather than things, and I'm a huge person who does that. I will spend all my money on like a trip or going to a show rather than buying a new thing. So I think I've always just kind of been like preparing myself in a sense for something like this.
Yeah, and there's definitely the things you were talking about kind of run the gambit. Like Spectra Art Space is, they've been doing those immersive things, and that's like almost 100% artists that they work with that are creating these spaces, which is cool. There's some like Christmas bars. Like I know, like a year or two ago, like Christmas bars, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, Christmas bars are really popular.
Wow.
I mean, they just fill up a room with like a jillion Christmas lights,
Right.
So it is surrounding you in the experience, but I feel like they were pretty expensive, and it was kind of like monothematic. And then there's a company actually out of Australia that's doing themed pop-ups.
Cool.
And it's almost like a kit. Like they have a Harry Potter pop-up thing or Alice in Wonderland, and they do it all over the country, all over the world. So they just bring in all these props, and I'm sure that I haven't been to one, but I'm sure. I mean, the pictures, they look like good props, and there's some interaction, but it's also like that almost seems like a corporate pop-up bar. It's like, here's the pop-up bar kit for the Harry Potter thing, and like they all but say Harry Potter, like it's like Wizard Kid or whatever, and like it's all 100% referential to that theme, but they're definitely walking around on some pre-existing copyright. So I feel like stuff like this and Spectra is really, it's local people, local artists, and creating really unique things for people here. It's not a traveling show.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you want to make it a destination, right?
Yeah.
We want to make it something that like it can either be something you do before or after you do something else, but it's very like it would be very good to just have like as the thing you do tonight,
right
by itself.
And the venue too, HQ, as Andrew, as you mentioned, Three Kings, Cherry Pit, it's got so much history in there. Our friends like Jim Norris and that moved down the block to Mutiny and stuff. That's where I met Jim, and we would do weird things over there. We would with Polisky, we would do Whorehouse Fest, Pinball Tournament of Death.
Yeah.
We would run. I'm sure Jim's employees absolutely hated us, but we had such a fun time, creating this huge labyrinth of ridiculousness. So I can't wait to see what you guys put together in there. I think it's going to be absolutely stellar.
I'll give you one hint on the decor.
Ooh.
Not really a hint, but we painted every surface black. The floor, the ceiling, the walls, like everything. That was just like, whatever we do, we're going to paint everything black, and then we're going to go from there.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to transform that space into really just like a black hole and create around that. And so it's like, it's not like anything people really have been in before.
I feel like a lot of people that I've talked to about it are like, oh, I've been in that basement. And I'm like, yeah, well, it looks completely different.
Not this one.
No. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. Well, painting it completely black, it's a nice, clean canvas to work with.
Yeah. And Emily Williams, who we're working with, Dirty Duval, she's going hog wild in there. Like, she comes up with these like ideas. She's like, oh, I want to do this and this. And we're like, I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, but like, go for it. And then like, we show up or we show up to help and be like, what do you want us to do? And then she's got all this materials and she's a blank canvas, a blank black canvas is like a perfect thing for her to just go hog wild.
Nice. That's so cool. Now, working with, a group of creative people on a project like this, was it a little bit of a learning curve to kind of figure out, people's, working strengths and stuff like that? Or was it something that Scott, as you indicated, just knew right away and everybody kind of felt, fit those roles?
I think Scott got us all together. And then like when we first met, we're like, let's talk about everyone's strengths. And everyone listed like all of the stuff that, and so we honed that in pretty quickly and just started going, And then when someone's like, hey, I'm going to be working on this, or can someone help me source this or whatever? And then whoever is available and has the talents just jumps on it. So it's pretty active on our thread that just it dings all the time, like with someone's working on something. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Again, Mission Impossible stuff, but it sounds like you're more, his angels and he's Charlie.
Yes, we're Scott's angels.
Scott's angels. He needs a shirt that says that,
Yes.
That's
like,
cool.
Luckily, we've all had like the one thing that we're like, I really want this to happen, but it's like different from other people. So like if someone's like, I really want this, for the most part, it's like, all right, go ahead.
We'll just add that in.
Yeah.
Everyone's whatever each one of us want to put in, everyone else is pretty amenable to just work around it.
Yeah, like the food was like one of the things I was like, no, we are having food that would kind of work in that time period-ish.
Yeah.
I don't want hot dogs.
Yeah, no hot dogs, please no. Please
Yeah.
no. But and to that point too, like what being Victorian, what kind of food was considered Victorian? Is there any like current dishes that we have that has its roots in Victorian times?
A lot, actually. The big one that I was kind of surprised about was cheesecake. Like,
really,
they eat cheesecake. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. They didn't have a lot of like salad, so none of that.
But I think also like a high tea, right?
Yeah,
like high tea is kind of dates back to that era. So little petit fours and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd say like if you've been to a high tea, like it's that stuff is very Victorian. It's pretty accurate.
Nice.
And of course, we're always going to add like modern touches nowadays because there are certain foods that they would have eaten back then that we don't like with our modern palates. But stuff like that. A lot. I was mostly interested in the desserts because, of course, I'm like, what can we make with that?
Yeah. Very.
You asked me once about desserts.
Yeah.
I'm all on board.
Yeah. Well, if it's cheesecake, man, count me in. But,
yeah.
I'm
working on that part right now.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious too. Like, things back then. During Victorian times, that our modern, palate, doesn't really, like or appreciate. What kind of foods would turn, modern, taste buds off?
Well, there's one type of tea sandwich that they still they'll still serve, but I've noticed that they kind of change it a little bit. But it's like a curry chicken salad, and I can't remember the exact ingredients in it, but it's curry chicken, which is delicious, but then they put like raisins in it and all sorts of like weird like fruits and vegetables, and it's just, I feel like with modern day palate, they don't go together. Yeah, I can't remember any other examples, but spices were like a big example where you're just like, why would you put that with that?
Yeah.
And I think part of it was spices were how you showed you were rich. Like if there were a lot of spices, that means you could afford spices. So they just like went crazy to the point where like before Victorian times, more like 1700s, but like people's teeth were rotting out of their heads because one of the ways they would show that they were rich was to put a ton of sugar in everything. So everything was just like super duper 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 sweet, and so people's teeth were just like rotten.
So more sweetness, less savory, right?
I mean, there was some savory, of course, as well, but there was a lot of sweetness in things that you wouldn't think it made sense to be sweet.
Yeah, and I think presentation too. Like if you had people over to your parlor, you know, it's little things, finger food, finger sandwiches and stuff. It wasn't a big garish meal because nobody wants to dig in like that. You know, it's a prim and proper. You know, eat
which is
something
awesome for
small.
me. I could eat all my meals. It's just like little
yeah,
little finger
little
things.
stuff. Yeah,
foods. That's pretty cool. The you know, with that, you were talking about high tea. Is there any other like, you know, alcoholic drinks that were very key during that time?
I brought up absinthe in one of our meetings because I don't know what exactly that area is, but I don't think we're going there.
There are some cocktails that we drink today that were very popular. Like I just learned that gimlets were very popular with Victorian era sailors. Oh. So that might be one of the drinks we offer.
Wow, what's a gimlet? You're talking to somebody who pretty much just drinks coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a non-drinker.
So the traditional one uses gin, but modern day ones use vodka as well. But it's like a lime juice based drink. It's like one of those very simple spirit and lime juice type of cocktails.
Nice. Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That I think that would be a big hit at your event. You know.
That's what I would order.
I remember when I was a kid, my brother and I would find stuff around the house like. So we found some kind of spray and it said lime gimlet.
Oh.
So I don't know if you spray it in the glass before you poured in the vodka or whatever, but we would just like spray it in our mouth.
Oh my God. It was like, you're getting drunk.
It was like, no, it was just the flavor. It wasn't alcohol.
Oh, okay.
It was just the lime flavor, but it was like that Banaka spray.
Oh, okay.
But it was like 10 times the power of like the Banaka. Where we're just like, I mean, I'm sure we're kind of high from it in some weird way.
You
powerful
out your lime, if they're being naughty.
Lime spritzer in our back of our throat.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's gin and lime juice.
Nice. Oh, that's
I'm a cocktail enthusiast, but I'm not a cocktail maker very often. So
not
specific,
a mixologist.
Yeah, not a mixologist. So specifics, I'm always like, I don't know. It tasted like lime and it was delicious.
Nice. Outside of Delirium, what's the next project individually for you guys?
You want to go first?
Sure. I actually this Friday I have we're calling it a kind of an urban puzzle hunt.
Cool.
But it's with History Colorado Center. Nice. And we did it last year about this same time. It was like a COVID safe thing that people could go do with people just in their bubble.
Right.
But you sign up through History Colorado Center and you pick up a clue and you solve that clue and it takes you somewhere. Could be a location. It could be somewhere in the webosphere or whatever. And you get the next clue. And all throughout, in this case, this year's one is a lot about kind of changing cities, what's still around, what's gone. And it dates back. I mean, it's pretty focused on the 80s, Denver in the 80s. But there's also, it goes back to Denver in the turn of the century too. So that actually starts Friday, but it's a 3-week long thing. And there's local artists involved, local musicians. It's pretty wide. And then
try to do it.
You gonna do it?
I want to.
Yeah. And it's at your own pace. Like people, it's hard to advertise things that aren't typical. Same with Delirium.
Yeah.
But in this case, I mean, you have to pick up your first clue by Sunday.
Yeah.
But you can go kind of at your own pace, and like some of the things are kind of timed, so you could do a bunch of the clues in one day, or it might take you a couple days. But then you might have to wait till the Friday or till the Wednesday to get to the next section. We have it kind of segmented out in weeks. And then I have some art in Meow Wolf too, so that's exciting.
Nice.
I worked with the team to put together some cool sculptures.
That's awesome. Your partner, your girlfriend, Maria, right?
Mariah, yeah.
Does she have some artwork as well there?
Yeah, she has a project with her kids and a couple other people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so her kids are the youngest Meow Wolf artists of any of the Meow Wolves.
Oh, that's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, and she had some early ideas and went through. I mean, it's quite the submission process, and everything gets changed a lot.
Yeah.
But she had these ideas in her head, and then like she got her kid to start drawing it. Like she's like, "This is in my head. You have to draw it. Like you're the artist." So they came up with some really wild stuff. It's amazing. And it's kind of cool. I mean, Meow Wolf paid us all as artists, and it was a process. But also we have opportunities to make merch for the gift shop.
Yeah.
Too. So like they're doing some awesome marketing. My stuff's not quite as marketable in like a gift shop sense.
Okay.
So I'm having it's going to be a little bit more difficult for our stuff, but yeah, I mean, and that was one of the things. Mariah worked at Meow Wolf, and she was the one who kind of introduced Meow Wolf to a lot of the Denver artists that are in there, and so really wanted to make sure to get the Denver artists represented. And my project is very also about Denver specific. So even though you're in this like multiverse of different stuff, you might see some things that you recognize from old Denver, and that was my goal, was to bring some Denver into Denver Meow Wolf.
Nice.
That's cool. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, and that can be seen now, right? Because that's open.
Not yet.
It's. I mean, some people they've been doing a lot of different kinds of things. Like they had a teacher day today, and tickets are on sale, but it opens sometime the 17th or something, right when Delirium starts, pretty much. Yeah. But there are a lot of pre-opening type dates,
and then come to Delirium afterwards for a drink.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Go from one experience to a more intimate one.
Right.
That's cool. Fun and have some finger food too. And some treats. So Dottie, what is next on your horizon?
Lots more burlesque stuff. I'm still performing, and then I have 2 shows I'm producing coming up this year. One in November, which is the second, installation of me and Dirty Duval under the name Dirty Polka we started a show called Books in the Buff, and it is a book themed burlesque show. And so, kind of erotic readings, and there's burlesque, there's dancing, there's just, people who just read to you, and it's really hot. So that'll be in November. And then in December, I am getting to do a show that was actually on the books for 2020 at the Clock Tower Cabaret. And that is called It's a Very Burlesque Christmas Charlie Brown. I wanted to bring something sweet, and of course it's a little naughty, it's burlesque, but like I like to kind of ride that line of like, it's a very sweet topic, but it's burlesque, so it's kind of naturally dirty, but it's not filthy. It's still kind of sweet. But it's a holiday classic. Nice.
Yeah, some little taking away the football from Charlie Brown action.
So everything's like, there's no football in the Christmas movie.
Oh, it's specifically Charlie Brown Christmas.
It's specifically Charlie Brown Christmas, and the second version of Christmas that what's it? I don't remember what they called it, but in the 90s they did like a second one. So there's like little touches of that, but it's mostly like the one that everyone knows and everyone loves. So it's kind of got little nods to the original, and then it'll be like, and here's a little burlesque guy, because it's Charlie Brown in 20 years, so he's an adult. Thank you. You're
not corrupting the children, the child version of Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
We've never gotten any older.
I love ruining people's childhoods, but there's also like, of course, questionable things about children, like when they're characters. So not gonna do that. But yeah, so he returns home after 20 years, and he's not feeling great about Christmas. And so maybe the best way to help them feel better is the same thing that worked last time, you know? So there's going to be like the Christmas show and all your favorite characters.
The sad Christmas tree.
Yes, the sad Christmas tree. And then there'll be some characters that you know and love that aren't actually in that movie. So like, for example, Peppermint Patty and Marcy are not in that movie, but everyone loves those. So, but they are in the second movie, so they will be there.
Excellent. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what I got too.
Yeah, Peppermint Patty, you know, seems like seems like a no-brainer. It's like, why would you?
Yeah, like originally I was just gonna stick like just strictly to like the original movie, but you know, you kind of have to allow for a little bit of like branching out because you want to give people what they want.
And creative license too.
Exactly.
Like you want to take it somewhere.
Yeah. Well, there's no point in just like straight up copying. So,
nice. That's cool. Yeah, I love the fact that you guys, you know, always got something, you know, creative going on, and that you guys were able to come together, you know, in a larger group and work on Delirium, which sounds like, you know, it'll be an ongoing thing. So
yeah. I mean, that's with an asterisk. Like, you know, people need to come. Like, we'll probably try one more no matter what. But you know, if people don't show up, if the market's there, we'll continue doing it forever, asterisk. But you know, if no one comes, then we can't. So if you want to see it, come. Yes, go see this. We do have the link scrolling you know, down below. So go to hqdenver.com. Get your tickets. God damn it! Not right now. Wait till after the broadcast, okay? And we have weekend shows and weekday shows. So like, no matter what your work schedule is, we can, you know, we have a show that will work around
on Tuesdays. So right, so it's like a service industry folks can come to something.
Nice, that's cool.
Speaking of ruining childhoods, I have a trivia question for you.
Okay, I'm going to get it wrong. I'll just put that out there.
Okay, what Warlock Pincher song talks about Charlie Brown?
Oh shit!
Any ideas?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to get this.
It was a really early one, but when she was talking about ruining your childhood by contorting Charlie Brown, it was called The Brothers Chuck, and it was Charlie Brown, Charles Manson, and Chuck E. Cheese.
Nice.
And they were wreaking havoc upon the nation.
Nice.
With their own separate skill set.
Yeah, it sounds like "Oh Brother, for Art Thou."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we made a music video for it, it would look like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Probably.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, why is that one guy got a swastika in his tattoo and the other one's got a squiggly line on his tattoo? I don't know, but they're both wreaking havoc. You know, cross country. It's almost biblical at this point. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I would never have gotten that. Yeah. When it comes to trivia, I'm really dumb.
I
think, but let alone something so specific as Warlock Pinchers, you know, trivia. And so when's when's the reunion for the reunion show going to happen with Warlock?
I think this is it right here. This is where I'm doing it right now.
Oh, that's awesome!
You're broadcasting it live because I think I'm the only remaining member who's willing to do anything.
Oh no! Well, we're happy to have you on here. Before we start to sign off, let's talk really quick about some of your horror influences, like kind of growing up. Dottie, you mentioned earlier that you were more into horror where all the nasty, gory stuff happened off screen, right? Do you have any films that or books even that you can reflect on?
I'd say growing up, I was one of those weird teenagers who had like Edgar Allan Poe. That like actually not even teenager. I remember in like 4th grade reading The Cask of Amontillado and being like, oh, that's messed up. I love it. So yeah, Poe probably. I mean, movies, honestly, like my version of horror was the scene from like Willy Wonka. So I'm a baby.
It's pretty messed up.
It's
though.
scary, yeah.
I mean, I'm an adult now, so I'm okay now to watch it.
It's pretty amazing, the stuff that we grew up with that, by today's, standards was, back then probably what should have been rated R, but it was PG.
Yeah. Yeah, because they didn't have PG-13.
Yeah. It's, like seeing Gremlins or something. I think that was actually PG-13 when it finally came out. But man, that was a really violent, kind of gory film. Yeah, granted, you had green blood spewing everywhere. Creature mutilation, which I guess was fine, but yeah, it was some pretty horrifying stuff back there.
Wow. Yeah, my number one favorite movie growing up was Equinox.
Ooh.
If you know that one.
I don't.
It was a low budget movie that a guy had made a short, and he got the interest of some I think Ray Harryhausen maybe. And so they made it into a feature, and it's kind of, I mean, it's lesser known, but they had really great stop motion claymation animation stuff.
Yeah.
But it was about this evil book and satanic like symbols they would make, like very Blair Witch Project symbols that they could make out of sticks that would protect them. And it was just like teenagers having a picnic, and they find this horrific book. And
oh my gosh, that sounds great.
Yeah. And one of the actors is actually the guy, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he played Herb Tarlick on WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name, but he was really young. He was like a college age guy at that time. But it kind of goes down in history as one of like the great underground, like B movie, but not total B movie, but just it was low budget. So very few actors in it too.
Well, in like stop motion is like one of those film art forms that's just so underutilized and but so intensive, in its application, because you're moving things ever so slightly, frame by frame by frame.
Yeah, and how to integrate that into a live action movie too, because there was this otherworldly portal that they could cross over where everything was that weird stop motion stuff.
Good way to integrate it.
Because otherwise, how do you walk into this other thing? But Frank Bonners, I think is the guy's name, the Herb Tarlick guy. And I think it's actually Harryhausen actually has a vocal part in it.
Oh yeah.
Just like there's like a tape deck that they play at the end, and that's his voice.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Growing up, the Ray Harryhausen films, all the way up to like Clash of the Titans. Jason and the Argonauts, the original King Kong.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was back in the 30s, but man, those were amazing films. And then to see like on a bigger budget level, you got Leica Studios that still continues on doing the very hands-on stop motion, which is impressive. I just wish it was more accessible. That and puppets. Use more puppets.
Yeah,
I love puppets. I've been like trying to integrate puppets into like more of the things that I've been doing.
That's cool. I don't know, puppets and delirium.
I mean, I have exciting news. Speaking of puppets, so it turns out, I've known Dirty for like 7 years now, and I just found out, she's texting me, we're saying her name wrong. It's Dirty Duvel.
Okay. Duvel.
Yes. So now everyone gets to find out that I've been saying my friend's name wrong for 7 years.
Then.
That's okay.
But she loves puppets. That's what made me think of it.
Yeah, I've done that a number of times. Sometimes it takes me 7 years to get it right.
Right?
Yeah, these things happen. Andrew, Dottie, is great having you guys on the show and talking about delirium and and all that's entailed with that. Can you give us the dates again and tell us where we can go get tickets?
Yeah. So it is Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays between September 19th and Halloween. And there's like one Saturday thrown in there and like one Friday that it's not happening. So you have to go to the site to see like the actual, like the specific dates. But we have like, I think 25 different showings to choose from. So lots of options for you.
And it's a timed thing. So it starts at 7, like doors at 6:30. So you have time to look around the environment. And it's like I think a 75 or 80 minute kind of experience.
And then you can get your tickets at hqdenver.com.
Nice. Excellent. Cool. Well, we can't wait to see you guys down there and see, what magic and mystery you have, waiting for us. I think it'll be, really exciting. And
I think everyone will love it. So hopefully come on down.
Yes.
We'll see you on your birthday.
Yeah.
We will see you there. You better have cheesecake.
We're planning on it for sure.
Excellent. And for everybody that's watching, please, go down, pick up your tickets after this broadcast and support local artists doing, amazing things, even during the time of a pandemic, motherfuckers.
Yes. We are keeping things as safe as possible. We are requiring vaccination cards to get in. So if that's a concern for people, just keep that in mind. And I don't know, is there anything else you want to say, Andrew?
Boy, I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah, we're really excited to bring this to everybody. And we're just some local artists who had a fun idea, and we are very excited to show everyone we are loving the direction that it's going. So we hope that everyone loves it as much as we do.
Nice. Yeah, go support Scott's Angels.
No, let's not put that in his head.
Too late.
You did not hear that here. These aren't what we're looking for. No, that's cool. Guys, thanks again for being so generous with your time and coming on the show and chatting with
us.
Yeah. And stick around for a few more minutes, after we sign off. But, to everybody that tuned in, make sure you go to hqdenver.com and support Delirium. Go there, get tickets, engage in the experience and have a good time, have a lot of fun, especially during this Halloween season. And one more, little plug too. Next weekend is Colorado Festival of Horror, the show that I've been working on for the last 3 years, and I've lost a lot more hair because of it. So we can't wait to see you. Go to COFOHhorror.com to get your tickets. And it's going to be a ridiculous experience. And hopefully Andrew and Dottie will see you there, and you can hand out some Delirium flyers or something. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. To our sponsors, want to thank you for all your support. Hellfire Media, thanks for rebroadcasting us on your social media. And of course, Groovy TV, even though Groovy passed away last year, we still carry on in your stead. And our friends at Mutiny Information Cafe. If you're going to start a revolution, by golly, you better be caffeinated.
Mutiny Denver and Mutiny Trinidad now.
Oh, really?
That's true. Trinidad, they're opening this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome. Pretty soon you'll see one in Pueblo in Colorado Springs, which will be good because I need to stop like every hour on that trip.
Yeah.
And as much as I love, the Love's truck stops, they get a little old, pretty. Yeah. But, and of course, Alien Donut Films, thanks for all your support over there, Bill and Angela. And then to my producers, Stefan Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong. And to everybody that's watching out there, thanks so much. Make sure you help each other during these tough times. And always remember, we love you. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
See ya.